Sometime in the 2020s, two geeks from across social media formed an alliance to bring you geek news from across the Nostalgiaverse. They are Jacob's Toys and SuperSorrell. So strap yourselves in for the weekly live show that brings you toy news, TV and movie reviews, special guests, opinions, tangents, and bad impressions. Reveals, releases, thoughts, and maybe dreams. So prepare yourselves for the Geek Week in Review. Live.
Ooh. Welcome to the Geek Week with me, Jacob's Toys, and of course, wonderful one and only SuperSorrell with a fresh new haircut. This is me.
Everything's going laggy.
My internet is playing up.
Oh no! It's the intro and it's going laggy.
Can you hear
me?
me?
I think we've lost it. I can hear you now, yeah.
Can you hear me? There we go.
Tell your kids to stop downloading Fortnite updates. Tell them now. Scan it in.
What did
Whoa! I think we've lost Jacob again.
Did you hear any of it?
A little bit. You're kind of going in slow motion,
what
mate.
What is going on tonight?
You're going in really slow motion. Every so often you just like go.
Oh no!
Oh, you're glitching out now.
Has it caught up now?
The Matrix has got you.
Oh man!
Stop. Yeah, you're all right now. You're back now.
I'm okay now. We're back. We're back.
I think
We're
so.
back.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'm not going to waste any time. Let's bring our guest in, and I'm going to go out and come back in. Can you hear me? Can you hear
I
me?
can hear you. Yeah, you're fine. You're fine
right,
now.
Okay.
You're back to normal.
I'm fine now. We're back. We're back. I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
You seem okay now. You do seem okay now. You're hesitant, but you seem okay.
How many fingers am I holding up?
3.
Okay, there we go. We're back. We're back. Yeah. What happened there? Wow. Okay. The issues with live streaming. But yeah, Geek Week episode 136 with me, Jacob's Toys, wonderful one and only SuperSorrell. It is what it is. You know, it's the internet. It's live. It's all live. We've got a good show planned for you today, so thank you very much for tuning in. If you're a regular viewer of the show, then of course, welcome back. If you're watching us for the first time, fantastic. Do check out the links in the description of the video. It's got all the details for myself, SuperSorrell, and everything that we're related to and everything that we're involved in. This week we've got a guest, haven't we? Another guest. We just keep bringing the guests on. Do you want to introduce this one?
Yeah, I was on his show a couple of weeks back, so I thought we'd bring him over here as well to introduce him to our chat. It is Triple G Comics.
All right.
All right.
All right. That was a smooth start. I liked that. That was very cool.
Terrible.
You know what? Every now and again, the internet gets us. We have to.
I thought I was watching a Zack Snyder movie with all the slow mo. Do you know what I mean? It was marvelous.
So we do have to we have to give a bit of a disclaimer. We've got 3 regional accents tonight, so it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. No, it's good fun. It's good to have you, Peter. Thanks very much for joining.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Anyone
really
doesn't know Peter? anyone that doesn't know him, Triple G Comics, can find him pretty much everywhere, can't you, on all the social medias and stuff. Do go check him out. Give him a follow. Of course, we'll put links in the description and stuff. But yeah, no, it's great to have you on. Great to have you on.
Thank you very much. I really, I mean, I've watched your show for a while now, so really excited to be on because you guys cover all the kind of stuff that I'm interested in. Not just toys, but geeky stuff as well, comic books, movie news, horror, everything. So it's a great show, so really appreciate coming on.
Oh, no, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Well, 136 weeks we've been doing this now, which is a bit mental. Through holidays, through vacations, through... yeah, pretty much everything. But yeah, what have we got in store tonight? So we were talking quickly before we came on.
Well, tell you what, first things first. I'll tell you what, my Morrisons were a little bit naughty.
Oh, really?
They put Five Nights at Freddy's out a day early. Yeah, it's not due out till tomorrow morning. That
nice.
It's out tomorrow morning. I'm like, I got to check out. I thought it's not going to scan this, is it? Boop. Oh, went straight through. Yeah, we'll have a bit of that.
Nice.
I have to confess, I've never played a Five Nights at Freddy's game. I'm
Really?
going to get it on they've just released it. I've got an Oculus Quest VR headset, so they've just released the I think it's like the trials or something on that. So I'm thinking of getting that and having a go on that and seeing what that's like.
Yeah, they've just released a box version of the game for $24.99. It's like the first 5 games all included.
Right.
So you can basically run through the entire story of Five Nights at Freddy's in like one sitting.
Okay.
Wow. I can imagine in 3D, like in VR, that would be quite intense.
Oh, it is massively intense in 3D. It's very VR in the Oculus. It's incredible.
Yeah.
It's all right watching it on a monitor and having the spring trap jump out at you, but when it's like in your actual face, that's just a bit much.
Yeah. I played one of them, you know, when the PlayStation 4 kind of done the VR headsets and that. My mate got one. And I'm petrified of the sea, like absolutely petrified of like deep water. And he put me on that cage one with a shark. And I was literally on the floor on my knees. I was like, I can't look. And I was like, just look. I was like, nope, it's there. No, like, my wife was sitting there just going, you looked a mess. I was like, it's not fun. Like, why would you do that? Like,
I was really skeptical about the whole VR kind of headset thing. And then I got, is it the Climb, which is a rock climbing game thing? And I literally fell to the floor. Right prat of myself lying on the sitting room floor, you know? Yeah, scary.
I think that's because we grew up in a time where headset games were crap. So like you got them back in the day and they were awful, weren't they? Or they were massive and heavy and give you a headache within about 4 seconds. You get vertigo in about, and just felt horrible after about an hour. But yeah, like I think we grew up with that kind of thing. So like we're always really skeptical of them. But like my younger brother, who's 8 years younger than me, he's got an Oculus and he loves it. Yeah. I think his best thing is sliced bread. And I played it a handful of times. It is good.
Yeah.
I remember when I had my Mega CD, when Mega Drive released the Mega CD, and it was like the bolt, like the clip-on that went on the back, and you had your games on the CD. And there was a game called Lethal Enforcers, and you got the guns. It was like a shooting game.
Yeah.
And you got the big Magnum gun. I thought that was the best thing ever. It was like an extreme duck hunt. Like it was, remember Duck Hunt, the game on the Nintendo? Yeah. So you had the big pink and blue Magnums. It was an arc. And I lived on that. I thought it was the absolute best thing ever. So yeah, we have come a long way in regards to games.
Absolutely.
I haven't played many recently, to be fair. I really haven't. I'm lacking on my gaming.
I got a PlayStation for Christmas, PlayStation 5, but I ended up playing on a kind of a retro Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge, which was a scrolling adventure. So it's like bog standard, Are you guys old enough to remember the excitement of Michael Jackson's Moonraker coming to the arcades? It had the little 3D thing in the middle. So it was kind of like the first 3D kind of image thing. That was amazing.
Yeah. That's it. Actually, that brings it. Yeah, I had the what was the game on the console that came out? What was the game on the console? I can't remember it now. There's the Michael Jackson one. I lived on that one as well. And there was like a special move where you could like make all the bad guys dance and do the moonwalk in the night, and then that was amazing. What's been going on this week? You guys picked anything up? You had many deliveries? Anything exciting come through your door? Because I actually got quite a lot this week. I'm quite excited.
Yeah, you got to go down to B&M. They've got all the Q figs marked down to about £6 now. So I've just picked up Darkwing Duck, Big Trouble in Little China, the Gargoyles. So
nice.
they're all marked down. Amazing
Which ones
prices.
Are they the like Funko-y looking ones with the big?
Yeah,
heads?
yeah, yeah. Like the ones on the little stands.
Yeah.
There you go. Can I stretch that far to grab one? Here we go. I've got the big here's Demoner.
Oh, very cool.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I got a bunch of them. There's like a Darkwing Duck and stuff, which is pretty cool. I know you like Darkwing Duck, Jacob. So here we go.
I do.
There you can get a Darkwing Duck figure.
I'm still kind of holding out for the Diamond Select one, to be fair.
But mate, I've got to say I pulled the trigger, and this is an exclusive. So if anyone is watching my videos tomorrow, I've got a haul video coming up again tomorrow because I'm a bugger and I keep buying things. But I had to pull the trigger.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
You know what? They're sitting in my basket.
I pulled the trigger. They were both. Do you know what I found out though? The Tekken ones are the same scale. So you can have Haiichi opposite Ken and Ryu and have them fighting, or like Akuma and Haiichi fighting. That would be amazing.
Nice.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did reach out to Jada because I did a bit of stuff with their Optimus Prime transforming ones. I did reach out to them, and yeah, trying to get a little bit of a scoop on the line, but I haven't got anything yet. So if I do pick up any info, I will let you know. But yeah, no, I think after seeing those ones at Toy Fair.
Yeah, that's the thing. Now I know that they're like, because like when they first started the line, I thought it might have been a bit like what they did with the Universal Monsters. They'll release like a wave of 6, then a couple of follow-ups, and now they're done. And you've not heard of them since. Now I know that they're definitely making every single characters on the back of that box. I'm like, yeah, I'm in. I want a Zangief, I want a Bison, I want a Sagat.
That's gonna be really
Cammy. Yeah.
I got a really random mix of things. Right, really random mix of things. The first thing I got, right, was this little guy, a little naked man, right? But I was doing some like hot toy customization and stuff like that, so I got like a 1/6 scale figure, and then I got sent this one, which is a 1/12 scale figure, right? But for customs, it's like wicked.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Like it's really good, and it retails at about a tenner. So it's all pinless, so there's no like you can't see any things. It comes with a pair of boots at the bottom there. It comes with a little pistol. Comes with a blank head. Like, so if you're doing customs, it's fantastic. So I was like, I'm going to put that in the box and I'll do something with that at some point.
So how much did that retail at for that plain body, did you say?
Like a tenner.
So yeah, that's, when we were working out how Rocco did his like figures. There's the base body for like a tenner. All he's got is a custom head on top of it and some custom clothing. That's easy to do, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's an easy little project.
You can get loads of them on eBay, can't you? I think probably the same one as you, Jake. I got a 1/6 scale blank body a while ago, and it comes with all kinds of attachments and different neck pieces. And I think I only paid about 12 quid for that or something.
Yeah, they're not expensive at all. I got one because I'm attempting a custom Guyver. Like, I always think about the Guyver.
Yeah.
I'm attempting a custom Guyver. Man, RDJ Custom Creations hooked me up with a Tom Holland and a Andrew Garfield head for 1/6 scale.
Nice.
Sent them over to me for scaling. They look absolutely stunning. And what I like is that the Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire has the new haircut, from the most recent one. So it'll be a modernised one.
Do you paint them yourself then?
He's going to paint them for me. He does all the painting. So he just sent them over to me so I could see what they like, how they scaled. And I'll send them back to him and he'll paint them up for me.
Yeah.
So that was one. Massive shout out to RDJ Custom Creations. He is a fantastic sculptor and painter and stuff. Really reasonable as well with his prices and stuff. I mean, he's been sending stuff my way for years and years and years. 2 He-Man figures came last week as well.
Nice.
I had to get this Skeletor because this is a proper Skeletor with like the proper Skeletor head, proper Skeletor body. I wasn't happy with the Skeletor I had in my collection. And then this bad boy.
Oh, that's a nice one, he's on.
It's really not. Look at the face. That is not Dolph.
Oh, I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I think that is not Dolph Lundgren. You look at the artwork and you're like, yeah, it's Dolph. And then you look at that and it's like, oh, it's not. But the one thing that I did like is that it does come with a classic He-Man head.
As soon as I got mine, I instantly popped that stupid Dolph Lundgren head off and put the classic one on.
Classic. Yeah.
That's what everyone does. Sure.
Yeah.
No one wants the Dolph Lundgren one.
No. So I will keep that as Dolph Lundgren because that head will go on my classic body. Saves me getting the expensive. What's it one?
Have you watched Masters? Have you watched Masters yet?
That's it. Yeah.
Have you watched it yet? I haven't watched it yet. No. I need to catch
The
up.
new one.
Yeah.
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Superb,
I haven't watched it yet.
Superb.
And
I'm
then,
mentioning it because you want to watch it and then link it to that figure because yeah, it's great.
oh, I will. I can't wait. I cannot wait. And then I got my fan home package from Fan Home with the next bits of my Transformer. But what I want to show you, which is really quite cool, right? So this is like package 7 or 8 or something like that in the box, as well as my.
Oh, you've got your first gift, have you? What
I got a backpack.
A backpack. Nice.
I got a backpack, right? Did not know I was getting a backpack, and I got, if I can get it out, a little mug,
Oh, very cool.
which is pretty cool.
I've not
Pretty
heard
cool.
of this. What's this, Jacob? I've not heard of this.
Do you remember Eagle Moss?
Yeah.
It's basically the new version. So they do
Right.
they do all the. I'm building an Optimus Prime, and they do a weekly magazine. Hang on, let's have a look.
It gives you a piece of the robot in every issue kind of thing, and you build it up.
So you get your magazine, and you get your piece.
Michael Bay Prime, is it?
It's what?
Is it the Michael Bay Prime?
Yeah. And it doesn't transform. It's the most common question I get asked. Does it transform? It's like, no, it's so incredibly detailed. Of course it doesn't transform. But it's massive. It is massive. I've built a leg so far. And it's huge. It's down here in one of my details.
I've got the Hot Toy Prime and I've got the 3-0 Prime, and that's the first thing people normally say as well. Does it? If it doesn't transform, it's not a transformer. They get stuffed. It's brilliant. Do you know what I mean? It's die cast and sexy. That's all I want.
Yeah, that's what this is. Like this, every single issue that comes has at least one die cast piece. So there's like a little bit of metal somewhere in all of it. And I've done like I said, I've done one leg. I'm a little bit hesitant because obviously it's going to be a little bit boring because I've done this whole build doing one leg and I'll have to do it again. So I'm going to replicate, and then the same for the arms. But this piece, this package here is the beginning of the torso, so it's starting to really build him up. But it's good. Cool. It's really cool. Fan home.
I've been doing the ships for them for about a year or so now. And they still keep coming every month. I get 4 new ships. I'm like, damn, this big heavy box comes. They're all die cast. They're all heavy metal as well. Yeah. So I've had like ridiculous amount of issues now, and so every month you get 4 new ships in a box, and like I say, everyone comes with the magazine, tells you about who piloted the ship in Star Wars and stuff. But they're all by Degastoni, so they're all quite collectible. Yeah, they're all quite decent. Yeah. It's not like the crappy ones that you got of like Doctor Who back in the day that go for like £1 now at B&M. These ones are like, they're really detailed and nice. But I have so many people that like message me and go, have you got because I sort of do them for the review for them, and then they kind of sit in a corner in a box because I'm not really a model collector. So like other people are like, have you got this particular model? I'm like, yes, I do. Send. Enjoy your big hunk of metal.
I've opened the cabinet now. That's the leg.
Wow, it's gonna be a hell of a size then, isn't it?
Yeah. So that is the leg. Like literally the foot is as big as my hand. And it's heavy. It's heavy. But that thing transforming, like, come on, let's be honest. Like look at the
hold that up again. about the same. No.
I'll tell you what, Sorrell, when I come up, when we do the Bolton Comic Con, I'll bring it up and we'll see.
We'll see how big it is. Compare it to my leg and take a photo.
I'm sure we could attach the compartment bit at the top. It's like that scene, that episode in Echo, you know? Have you watched where the old boy makes the custom leg? Like there we go. I don't know how quick you'd be on it. I mean, it's all articulated, so like all the toes move and everything like that. But yeah, it's quite heavy. I think it'd like hold you up a little bit. But annoyingly or not annoyingly, the first issue you built the head, so the head doesn't actually look that big, but it does all light up and everything, which is cool. But yeah, so that's the size of his head. But when you see the size of the leg, it's going to be a big old. I think it's 60 centimeters. I think they said the whole height of it. And he comes with a cannon and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be good. It's going to be a good build. I've enjoyed it so far, anyway. Let's put it back now before I break it.
Did you get anything this week then?
I've got a load of comics lying around and stuff. I didn't really bring it to show you, but I picked this up recently. This is first appearance of Batgirl.
Nice.
Right.
Sorry, not
9.6
Batgirl.
as well.
Sorry, not Batgirl. What you call her? Harley Quinn.
Harley
Total
Quinn.
rubbish. Yeah, first appearance of Harley Quinn.
9.6.
Yeah, I wanted that one for a little while. I had it one a while ago, but I picked that up. I got this. This is Wind, signed by James Tynion. This is a great little series. Really cool book. So that's a nice one to pick up. Got this. This is the first appearance of Mon-El. Picked that one up because it was my dad's favourite character, and Mon-El's the kind of the main guy that he used to read. So picked that one up. Toy wise, I haven't really got much to show you. Did get this recently. Ugh.
He's cool.
Yeah, that's Trick or Treat Studios.
Nice.
Yeah.
Rewatched Gremlins 2 and then Gremlins 1, and I just I realised I haven't got any Gremlins in my collection, and I need something. So so got him. Gonna get a Gizmo next. I think the Trick or Treat Studios have shown them off, haven't they? So
Yeah, they showed all sorts off.
Yeah.
I did the same thing with Gremlins. We went to like a Christmas. It was like one of them garden centres. I don't know. I'm sure you gents have the same, like in your areas. Like the garden centres all go mad for Christmas and do their little setups and everything. And this particular one had Christmas through the ages. So they had like a kind of a room where you walked in and it was like the 1800s, and then it kind of got into the more like the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, etc. And you kind of the 80s and 90s was just like walking into my bedroom. It was mad. Like they had everything you could imagine there, from like things like even just silly things like issues of Smash Hits magazines that open on the bed and stuff like that. And in I think it was the 80s one. I don't know. It would have been because of the film, but I don't know whether it was the 80s or 90s. But in one of the two, it had the gizmo behind a little gizmo behind the seat, and it was on like a little kind of moving thing. So he kind of popped up every now and again. Yeah. And my eldest son was like, "I've not watched Gremlins," and I was like, "No, you haven't." And it's a Christmas film. Like we're watching it, and we sat down and watched it. And I remember being terrified when I watched it as a kid, like that Christmas tree scene.
Yeah.
That done me. Like, do you know what I mean? And I sat down with him and I was like, listen, all I'm going to say is, can you hear what I hear? Trust me. We got to the end of it. He was like, yeah, it was fun. That was cool. Yeah. I was like, what? You're not like scared? You're not entertained? But I came up with the same conclusion. I was like, I haven't got any real Gremlins in my collection. I've got the Law of Subjects one, the Stripe, and that's it. Yeah. So I've been kind of looking around at what I can get.
I mean, most of my collection, I don't know what you guys are like, but most of my collection is based on pure nostalgia. It's stuff that I remember either having when I was younger. That lots of, I mean, you guys, because you guys are experts, will know. But when I talk about things like Visionaries, or Mask or things like that, that's the kind of stuff I love picking up these days. So to not have a Gremlin felt criminal. Really, I needed to get one of those in my collection.
No, I was the same. I was kind of like, I had this one from Law of Subjects, and I'm like, you know what, I was looking at the NECA ones, and I just like to get like a nice little display of kind of setups, but we'll get there. I didn't rewatch Gremlins 2 because I know I would have then bought everything. So I was like, right, I'm going to pace myself. But yeah, it's a good one. I'm sure it's going to get a reboot at some point. Like they're going to redo it, aren't they?
Talking about a number 3. I mean, they've been talking about a number 3 for a long, long time, but apparently it's getting closer and closer.
Yeah. See, I'm taking it with a pinch of salt until we solidly see something. Yeah. Like I would like a number 3, but at the same token, I'd quite like a new number 1. Yeah. To see what they would do with it nowadays.
I went to HorrorCon, not this year but last year, for the love of horror, and there were some guys selling a Gremlin, it was called, because I couldn't use the term Gremlins, but it was a Gremlin comic book, and it was superb. It was set during World War II, and it was the Gremlins attacking the tanks and things and fighting them. Honestly, absolutely amazing. Well, this is what I want as a Gremlins movie. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. This would be superb. But yeah, it was really cool. Really cool.
I just think they could do so much with it. Couldn't they?
I think we could easily make a new movie as long as they don't try and remake the original movie, but just do some. Yeah. It doesn't have to be Gizmo again, but just another Magwai that creates a bunch of Gremlins. Use the concept, but just not remake it. That's how you do it, isn't it? More of a reimagining.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, I don't know whether it's just because I'm like an adult now, but I watched that whole film, and the scariest things were some of the dad's inventions. I was like, how is he like?
I love the inventions.
Yeah. I was like, how are they just like going about their daily, like they're the coffee maker and like the egg, and I was like, what are they like? I mean, they came in use in the end, let's be fair,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I was like, how are these people just getting like, I'm worried if I leave my iPhone charger on for too long, like this, they've got all this. Yeah, I just was like, oh. No, but it's a wicked film, it really is.
Cool.
There was a
Very
house near me, and every Christmas they do like a really big kind of over the top like display outside their house. And when I say over the top, they obviously invest money in it every year. So this year it was the Grinch, and the year before last it was Home Alone, and the year before that it was Gremlins. And they get all the cardboard cutouts, and they kind of decorate the outside of their house like the thing in the film.
Yeah.
So like Home Alone, obviously it had the Wet Bandits wanted poster, and it had them at the window and that kind of stuff. And the Gremlins one, they had all the carol singing Gremlins outside. It was fantastic. I think I even posted a photo on it on my Instagram, because I was just like, this needs some kind of recognition. And the Museum of Gremlins or something like started talking to me, and there's a Instagram account for this place where they collect as much of the movie memorabilia as they can, or the movie props and stuff for Gremlins. I was like, this is mad. Like, I want to go there. This is incredible.
Oh yeah, superb stuff.
But yeah, wait, you're looking for it now, Sorrel, aren't you?
No, I'm looking for a photo from Comic-Con this last year. Because Triple Jill know I'm on about in the Comic-Con scene around me, they always have the scene, the cinema scene. They always have the red chairs set up. You can sit in the middle of all the Gremlins. And I've got a photo with them somewhere. I'm trying to find it, but I don't think I'll be able to find it quick enough. But yeah, I've got a photo on my Facebook somewhere of me sat in the middle of all the Gremlins. And there's like some with popcorn things on his ears, and there's one the guy's got 3D glasses on. And yeah, it's a funny little
incredible
photo.
to think how much of that was done in, just puppeteering. There's very little CGI. And when they do put CGI on, it kind of detracts, and you think, oh, I wish they'd rather just stuck with the puppets, It's amazing.
But I think that's what made horror films, and not even horror films, like there were things like Gremlins, scary back in the day, was because they were physically there. And I don't care how good the CGI gets, there is a big difference between watching stuff and knowing it's there, and watching stuff and knowing it's just kind of made on a computer. Because as kids you were watching stuff and you could kind of visualize those things in your house and stuff, like even more modern things, like we were talking about Jurassic Park and the reboot that they're looking at that for that. Like the Velociraptors still kind of scared me, because it was like I can see them and I can visualize them. And the same was for Gremlins, Critters, all those kind of films. There was a film as well, The Gate. Do you remember The Gate?
Yeah.
That done me as a kid. The bookcase scene when they, like, for anyone that hasn't seen it, basically typical 80s film, someone digs up a tree in their garden, it opens up the gate to hell. Like, like you do.
Happened all the time in the 80s. You couldn't move the gates of hell. Do you know what I mean?
It was like, neighbours would open up the door to the gate to hell again. But out of it came all of these like kind of little gremlin-y, goblin-y kind of things, didn't they? And there was a scene where they were like on the bookcase or something. And and I just, as a kid, remember kind of just thinking that's really freaky. Like, and another one as well, right? I'm going down the trip. Have either of you gentlemen ever seen the Christopher Walken film Communion?
Not sure.
I'm sure is it called Communion? I'm sure it is.
Yeah, Communion in 1989.
1989, Christopher Walken. I wish I could do a good impression of him, but I can't. But it's basically supposed to be a true story of a guy that was abducted by aliens. And it's kind of think of a really early 80s version of The Signs, and this is basically what it is. And it's just a trip. But there's one bit, and he's laying in bed, and he's like, I can't even do his voice, but he says like, hello, like, I can see you. And then he's looking in the door frame, and around the door frame is like half of a grey, like pops around. The scariest thing. As a kid, I was like, I had nightmares. I was like, this is mad, because I could see it, and I was like, I know it's a big plastic face, but man, like, just after the podcast, or like, watch that scene, right? Because Chris,
hello, is there an alien in my house?
That is it.
That's good. That's it. Yeah.
That is it. And, he says like, I think I can see you, or I know you're there, or something, and he goes. It's just mad, but because it was real, it wasn't CGI. and it made a massive difference.
I went to the cinema last night to see Baghead. Either of you guys seen that yet?
I saw the trailer for that today. Oh, really?
So
Oh.
when she's practical, when it's a woman in a costume, creepy as hell. Really, really creepy.
Yeah.
The second they switch to CGI, it's just, oh, nah, you've lost us. It looked crap, I just thought, I wish you'd just stuck with a creepy old lady who I couldn't see her face. That was much, much more effective, But yeah, it's an interesting film. It's an interesting film.
I did. The trailer popped up on my feed today actually, and I was like, "Oh, that looks quite interesting." But it's funny because you say that because films like The Nun and The Conjuring and stuff like that used actors, didn't they, for the majority of it? And that's, I think, why it became a kind of a cult horror straight away, because it did that kind of classic, here we are.
Absolutely, exactly the same with The Nun 2. I don't know if you guys have seen The Nun 2. Yep. When she's in the corner, when she's kind of just creeping around, stunning. End scene where she goes all CGI and kind of monster. You think, crap,
Yeah, no, I agree. Totally agree with you. If you're watching in the comments and that, do let us know what films you're into and stuff like that. It's always good to interact. So, yeah.
Did any of you watch the Royal Rumble this weekend, by any chance?
I didn't. Waiting for it to land on Netflix.
I'm afraid I'm not a wrestler. I'm not. I remember watching wrestler back in the day when it was Ultimate Warrior and things like that. That was kind of my era of wrestling, but I've not really got into it since.
Yeah, it was the most predictable thing on the planet. The women's one were amazing, and they had like some good like cameos and stuff. But the men's one were just so boring. Like it was just so predictable. Like on the show before the pay-per-view, they had like Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, the two guys, like in the ring. So like saying about it's gonna come down to the wire, we're gonna kill it as they do. And then it literally came down to them too. It's like you gave away the ending last night. Like this is shit now.
Yeah.
So it's
the
just
writing is a little bit.
The writing's terrible. And then there was that news that came out about Vince McMahon. Did you see that?
No.
Is he gone completely now? I thought he'd gone last year,
so,
the year before, and he came back or something.
Well. The kind of like when, we'll push Vince to the side a little bit. TKO will run it, and Triple H is helping run it. Stephanie McMahon's retired her on-screen character to remain backstage, and then all of a sudden they were like, oh, well, Vince is harmless. We'll keep him around a bit. And now it turns out it's a bit of a sex pest. So we'll definitely push him out the way now. See your father-in-law. See your father-in-law, out the door you go.
Wow.
I know it's got your name above the door, but it's all right. Well,
I used to like Vince back in the day. I used to like it when he.
But if you think about, the thing is, if you think about some of those storylines now knowing what we know about him, and then the fact that it's supposedly true, and that he's like been soliciting women around to like sleep with other wrestlers and things, and he's a bit of a trafficker. So that's what he's been accused of. And he's been kicked out of the company now, so it must be there's some truth to it. And Brock Lesnar was meant to be in the Royal Rumble last night, but one of the allegations was that he was one of the guys that Vince allowed to sleep with certain women and stuff, so to keep him golden kind of thing. So he wasn't at Royal Rumble last night, surprisingly. So
wow, there's always.
So when you look back at some of these stories, like what he made Trish Stratus do and things like that back in the day on some of these storylines and some of the things he did with his own daughter and stuff, even it's a bit creepy now.
Yeah, it is.
I'll avoid that. I think I don't think I'll watch that.
Some of it does not age well. Some of it does not age well.
It has not aged well at all. But on to happier things. It's Anno Day tomorrow. Anyone excited for that?
What does that entail exactly?
I'm glad you said that. I don't understand what that means.
Basically, everything in Star Wars gets a day now. That's basically how it works.
Basically, Ahsoka was announced to the public ahead of the Clone Wars movie on this day, basically on January 29th, 2008, I think it was, or 4 or 8, something like that. And she was introduced back to us all the way back then. And was universally hated. The movie came out and everyone was like, who is that little cretin? Let's kill her now. But now she's the most beloved character on the planet. So, they've dedicated... Well, it's Disney, isn't it? And they know they can sell things, so they'll go, we'll call it a day. We'll put some merch on the site. So, there's going to be a merch drop tomorrow morning.
That's even more ridiculous. So, a while ago, I think on one of my shows, I mentioned that it was Batman Day, and I got a whole host of comments in the chat saying, "I cannot believe we've got a Batman Day. Who the hell? Why is there a Ahsoka Day? Really? That's like okay then.
Yeah,
have
everything
a
gets
Oh,
day
there's
for
a day
everything.
for everything now. Yeah.
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 There's Ahsoka Day. There's Alien Day. You can celebrate Alien Day now, can't you? There's all sorts.
Yeah, they're all just marketing the day
Yeah,
that
that's the
they
idea.
want, basically. I think Ahsoka's an interesting one because obviously how much she was hated at the beginning. Like it wasn't a little bit, it was everyone hated her. Like,
Universally hated.
yeah, you had to sift through for a semi-positive kind of point of view. But obviously she's now one of the big leading characters of the franchise, which is crazy. But I like the character. I didn't really have an opinion. I was just like, okay, they're trying to do this, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I never hated her when she came out. I can't say that I liked her character when she first came out, but I wasn't one of these people that was going out my way to trash her. But yeah, she was slightly annoying when she first came out. It took a while to get used to her.
In people's defense, when she did first come out in those that first movie in that early kind of Clone Wars series, like she wasn't that enjoyable to watch. Like she
was meant to be like, yeah, she was meant to be like 13 though or something, wasn't she? She was meant to be like a kid.
Yeah,
like a very young kid, and then she's grown up. The idea is she's grown up with the audience, hasn't she? Basically,
yeah.
So I come to this completely kind of a novice, really, because my first interaction with Ahsoka was in The Mandalorian, and then the recent show. I haven't watched any of the Clone Wars cartoons and things like that.
That's it. That's cool.
So I'm kind of fresh from our own series, which, I mean, I like her. I like her as an actress. I thought it was really interesting. I have to say the show didn't blow us away. But yeah, she's an interesting one. I think she's going to do good things in the future. She's absolutely invested in the character. And were you guys at Star Wars Celebration last year?
No, I didn't go.
Yeah, I mean the crowd when they put the trailer on and things like that were mental. Went absolutely mad for her. So she's she's obviously hit the geek kind of Star Wars fans mantra that she's very much in their favour. I think now, hopefully.
Yeah.
yeah.
Go on.
So I would say Ashley Eckstein's returning to the voice role of Ahsoka later this year because Disney are going to put out a new radio like drama-y thing with Ahsoka, and Eckstein's coming back to do the original voice of Ahsoka. So keeping both around.
That she put in so many years building Ahsoka, and then obviously what's her name,
Rosie Arrow Dawson.
Yeah. Like she's phenomenal, but obviously that's when you say Ahsoka, that's who people think of, and yeah, it's a shame.
So
but
the voice actress was, like I say, was at Star Wars Celebration as well, and at the end of the second day, I think it was. We went outside and I've never seen such a sea of people in cosplay as Ahsoka and the voice actress went out. I got some video of her actually, and my God, she was just embraced. Everybody was hyper for her, and she interacted with all the fans and everything. She came across really, really well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, awesome. She's always in Florida. She's always at Orlando quite a lot at the Star Wars stuff over there. Like she's going to be at Orlando, I believe, tomorrow for Ahsoka Day. She's going to be at Galaxy's Edge for the day because they're going to put out I'm pretty sure it's because they're going to put out lightsabers again. The one that I got in the box. I'm pretty sure they're going to put those out again.
Did you get one from?
I got one from the Disney Store website, and when they first came out, and it was like 500 quid to buy. Something stupid, but yeah, I own those.
We did Galaxy's Edge last year, and I was very tempted to pick up a lightsaber, but I just thought I got panicky about trying to get it through customs and everything, and if it gets damaged on the flight and all that kind of stuff, because they're not cheap. They're pricey when you're there.
You have to do what I do. You have to carry it back with you, and you have to carry it on your person. And when you're going through security, you basically go, I promise not to kill people with it. It's okay. It's just a toy. But no, they used to seeing them. To be fair, they used to seeing them at Orlando Airport. Quite obviously, they basically say to you when you're walking through, they give you a plastic bag, and I had to put it in, and they sealed it shut.
Oh, okay.
And do not break that seal. If you break that seal, you cannot take it on board the airplane. So basically, they warned you, and then that way, I just wound that on, put it in my rucksack, and I just left it there for the flight. Then
I like that you did this. Like,
Yeah.
I wound it up, put it in a sheath, and just boarded the plane. Yeah, and I promised my boys that when we go to Disney next, that's what we'll do. We'll do the lightsaber build, just because they've seen all the videos, and I was like, when we go next.
Oh, the story, mate. There's never a dry eye in the room when they do the story and stuff. It's amazing. They're so good at it. But no, it's 200 pounds piece. So take some money with you, and the droids are about the same. So I remember the one day at Galaxy's Edge that I went. I was there for 2 weeks, but I did the one day where I did everything, and I spent about 500 quid in about a matter of a few hours.
Beep, beep, beep,
Yeah,
beep.
literally, I literally spent most of my spending money in like a day.
Yeah.
I got obsessed with buying bloody thermal detonator bottles of Coke. And it was like, you can get a bottle of Coke for like a quarter of the price. I'm like, yeah, this is a thermal detonator. But you've had 4 of them, Peter. Do you know what I mean? Stop drinking the bloody thermal detonator.
Yeah, it is good. I'm looking forward to it. I think we're going to go next year, maybe next year we'll be going.
Yeah,
Just trying to work it out. But yeah, we haven't been for a few years now, since before COVID, actually. Yeah, I'm well overdue a visit.
Is anyone still watching Gladiators at the minute?
Yeah,
We're about 3 episodes deep now.
Yeah.
Does anybody else think it's scripted yet?
oh, massive.
Who's afraid of the big bad
You
wolf? That's not the
cynic.
wolf. He's a fake wolf.
They've hammed it up massively.
Yeah.
They've
Oh,
massively
he's so
hammed
hammed up in it.
Yeah. But I don't know if the contestants bit is scripted. I think
No. I think that's genuine. But I think the certain bits like he's going to push him to get disqualified. I reckon all that's written down. I think Wolf back in the day wasn't. It was just him, and that's how he acted, and they got used to doing it with him. I think this new guy, they're trying to make him the villain.
Yeah.
But for me, I think what's the other guy called? The one that's really smug. He's better at being the villain, isn't he? That guy who thinks he's like, Randy Orton does that whole thing, doesn't he?
Oh, the legend one.
Legend. I think he's the better villain overall, to be honest, because he's funny with it. The other guy's just...
Yeah.
Do you not think they're trying to do a bit of taking a land from the old wrestling side of things?
Yeah,
and make
it's
it more of a
definitely
show.
100%. Yeah.
I mean, I have to say, it's a guilty pleasure, isn't it? My son watched it for the first time the other day, and he was like, what is this? Why are you getting excited? And I was like, because I'm doing the referee bit and stuff, and Gladiator's ready, and he's like, Dad, you know what I mean? You're 40-odd, grow up. But I can't help get into it. It's fun nostalgia.
Yeah.
For me, I'm enjoying it.
I love it.
Bradley Welsh. I don't know why, but I quite like Bradley. I like
I
him as well.
I like them both.
Yeah.
But when it started up, I was like, right, new routine. Saturday night, we'll sit down, like old school 90s. We'll have dinner in the lounge. We'll watch Gladiators. And then literally the second week, my 5-year-old went, "It's Saturday. Gladiators is on." We're like, yes. I was like, that's it. I've done. I've peaked as a father. Like, that's it.
Your job here is done. Well done.
I love the fact.
It is done.
I love the fact that the Gladiators do the same pose every time they come out now. It's like they've got one trick pony syndrome, and they're just like that one girl comes out and just goes for no reason every time now.
Oh, they do. They've got their... But the funny thing is that the original Gladiators had their kind of their moves, didn't they? Yeah. But a lot of them came from like out of nowhere. So like Jet, for example, the whole hair flick. I think she was on Good Morning, was it this week or last week? Yeah. And she talks about it, and she says that was because she used to get sweaty and she'd take the helmet off, and so she flicked her hair back, and the producers went, "Yep, go with it, like do it." But then she was flicking her hair back every time. But so whereas now they've kind of gone, right, you need a catchphrase, you need a move, you need that kind of stuff. But I like it. It's good, wholesome fun. They've not changed it, have they? They've just gone, this work.
I love it. Don't get me wrong. I love it. I think it's amazing. I've got to like it because it's northern and it's set in my local area, so I've got to love it. I could go see it anytime I wanted, which is amazing. But the thing that just makes me laugh is it's so over the top. Oh, and like when they did the wall thing, and Saber is literally on all fours like a cat behind her, like, "I'm coming for you, motherfucker."
Yeah.
And it's literally like she literally takes the name Saber or whatever she called, and she literally wants to be a saber-toothed tiger. She's like, snarling behind. Like, all right, weirdo, calm down.
We were watching it, and that whole bit where Viper got disqualified. And I literally went, oh, well, that was scripted, weren't it? My wife nudged me and went, when you watched it, you thought it was real.
Yeah,
Stop
yeah,
it. And I looked at my kids, and
Yeah.
they're all like, watching it. I was like, okay, sorry. Like, oh, isn't he naughty? Like, oh.
Although that one bit where they really didn't want that guy, like the one guy got through that what's it called, the gauntlet,
Oh,
is it?
yeah.
And then that other guy just got 10 bells knocked out of him, didn't he? For no reason.
Yeah.
That one guy just went for him.
went hard. But I do like the Eliminator at the end because it genuinely is like Faceplant City, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's on the Travelator, like they all fall down and hit it. But at least that is like a proper competition, and there's no kind of scripted parts of it. But no, we're loving it. We are loving it. We think it's great.
It's good fun. Good fun.
Oh, massively. Yeah, massively good fun.
Going back to Star Wars, we had the Bad Batch trailer this last week. We didn't really get a chance to talk about it last week.
We did.
But, have you seen it?
Yeah.
I'm guessing Triple G's not. He's not. Are you not a
saw
fan
bit,
of the?
I saw a bit of it, and I'll tell you, I haven't watched it. When Ahsoka came out, I asked a lot of my kind of Star Wars friends, do I need to go back and watch a lot of the animated stuff? Because I haven't watched any of it, really. And they said, well, it's better to get the full story, but it's hours and hours and hours of TV, and I just haven't got the time. So I ended up watching like All You Need to Know About, before Ahsoka. So I've not dipped my toe into Bad Batch. That's not as big as it is kind of Rebels and things like that in terms of how many episodes.
Bad Batch, you literally need to watch about 4 episodes of the Clone Wars, and then you've just got the 2 series of Bad Batch now. Okay. That's it. They're relatively a new group. They did feature in Clone Wars a few times, but only towards the end. They're a relatively new group of characters.
But in Clone Wars, they were marketed as kind of the Bad Batch, wasn't it? It was like the clones that had gone wrong, or were they weren't perfect sort of thing.
They're basically expendables, aren't they? They're the ones that get sent in on dangerous missions because they don't care if they get killed off. Basically.
Yeah. So the concept
like the Suicide Squad kind of thing.
Yeah. The concept of them was quite cool, especially when watching the Clone Wars, because then all of a sudden you're so used to seeing the same character with different haircuts and different facial hair, and then all of a sudden they've got this group of like basically kind of defective kind of clones that they've kind of thrown together, given a cool uniform, and gone, right, you do the under the radar missions and that kind of stuff, and it kind of gave it a bit of a new angle. So I was quite pleased when they went with like a series of it, and it does kind of go back to Order 66, and it shows you all of that stuff, and yeah, it's been fun, but now it's kind of its own story, isn't it? And
it's going its own way, but it's gonna, this next series, the reason I'm excited for it is because it's going to tie everything together, the cartoons to the live action to the future. It's tying in the whole why the Emperor wanted Grogu, why it's like it's going to tie into Mandalorian, it's going to tie into the new movie we're going to get, and it's also tying into the future Star Wars films. Because obviously we know that the Emperor and Snoke and everything was all linked, and he wanted to clone himself and bring himself back. So it's that whole storyline of how they started doing that process. And then we saw that Sarge Ventress is back in this as well, Jake, which that's a big character from Clone Wars, beloved character. And it looks like Dave Filoni's bringing her back as well now.
But I thought she was killed off.
She was killed off in a novel, in a graphic novel, and she basically ran away with that the Jedi that other Jedi that's mentioned in Obi-Wan Kenobi that helped kids escape. It's kind of mentioned in the split second. He featured in Clone Wars quite a few times. It was like the outcast Jedi.
I can't remember.
But basically, she ran away with him and became a good guy and lived happily ever after. And then she was killed off.
Right. Okay.
It was kind of an off-screen death kind of thing. But that's the whole thing in Star Wars. If it's not seen on a screen, Dave Filoni can bring you back. So the novel's now been pushed to Legends, I believe, and we're getting a new storyline. So it's a good thing. I like Sarge Ventress. She was a good villain. And
she's got a lot of potential
with her going forward, because she's got yellow lightsabers this time. She looks slightly different from her Sith appearance, because she was Count Dooku's apprentice originally. She wasn't a full Sith, so she's kind of like Ahsoka in a lot of ways. So what I think they're going to do is, I reckon Ahsoka's going to come back in the Bad Batch as in a cartoon, like obviously the cartoon version of Ahsoka. And you know that scene we got with Obi-Wan and Darth Maul with the final meeting of them two characters? I think we're going to get a Sarge Ventress versus Ahsoka Tano, and symbolize that same passing of the torch kind of thing, that same moment of that these characters have been fighting for the past X amount of years and this is their final showdown?
I would go the other way. I think that they might be bringing her back
For live
because
action.
she would make a very good live action villain.
Yeah, and obviously they need someone to fill Rey's big shoes.
And what better to do than to bring back a fan favorite? Look how popular Ahsoka's been, like all that kind of stuff. That the transition from animation to live action.
Mhm.
If they were bringing her back to test the waters and transition her over to live action as the kind of big bad in the film, you've got an instant Sith, haven't you? You've got an instant. You don't have to kind of have a new backstory. You don't have to kind of try to sell the audience somebody new, because a lot of people watching it will know who she is and know the story behind her, and so she will kind of already be over with the fans.
The thing is, another storyline that could go with, if they didn't want to put the novel in Legends, if that is still canon, and the original Asajj Ventress did die, this could be a clone of Asajj Ventress from that cloning facility. That's the other side of the coin. Have they managed to perfect the cloning process, and they're using Asajj Ventress as the test dummy?
Why has her lightsaber color changed?
Yeah, they've changed it to yellow. We don't know why that. I'm guessing will be explained in the program.
Yeah,
we'll let it catch
that's
up.
what I would question. Why? Am I back? Am I back?
You're all right. Yeah, you're back again now.
What is going on tonight? I need to go and put some money in the meter. But yeah, I wonder whether it's like that's the obvious giveaway, that it's a different character because of the lightsabers.
So there's like a trend going on in the minute, like Rey, when she was neither Jedi nor Sith, they gave her the orange lightsaber at the end. People in Rebels towards the end got yellow lightsabers. When they're doing, now that it's like a thing now. If they're neither Sith nor Jedi, they need a color lightsaber, so they're going with yellow. That was the color of the Temple Guard in the novels and stuff.
It gets very confusing for the uninitiated like myself, who've kind of know Star Wars from the TV shows and the movies. And for me, bad guys have red lightsabers, good guys have blue or green or whatever.
Yep.
And I remember being confused during Ahsoka when they had orange lightsabers all of a sudden, and asking some of my mates in the chat what was going on, and I didn't really get a proper answer. So I think they have to be careful for the more general fan base, that if they are going to start introducing all this kind of stuff into the movies, people won't understand the lore of it. They don't, like me, I wouldn't understand what's going on.
Yeah. That's the thing. They're doing and there's a lot that that in Ahsoka, if you were to go back and watch Clone Wars, there'd be a lot more you'd pick up on that we got that maybe you didn't. Like that planet they're on, all the Dathomir witches, they've got a rich heritage and storyline from Rebels and Clone Wars. And
see, for me, it's exactly the same as if I watch a Marvel movie or TV series with some of my family or whatever who aren't seeped in the comic history and all the rest of it. Yeah, I'm getting stuff that they don't even register, So it's the same for me with Star Wars, I guess.
Yeah, so it's one of the things that there's Dave Filoni obviously is the forerunner of the sort of current run of the Star Wars, and he's bringing all of his creations with him, which I don't blame him. He made the cartoon universe. He put Star Wars on the map again a little bit. Yeah. So he's gonna bring all his creations to life basically and bring them into the real Star Wars world now.
Yeah. It's exciting times for Star Wars again, but isn't it? Because I think the last movies didn't necessarily hit as hoped, I think, for a lot of people. So I think there's a bit of a buzz again against it. A lot of my mates are very excited about the whole Throne character, seeing how amazing he is and stuff.
Yeah.
Don't think I saw it in Ahsoka as much. Do you know what I mean? He wasn't what I was expecting to see. So I'm looking forward to seeing how he develops and how he kind of shows himself as this massive general kind of evil thinker, as it were. They're
basically giving us the heir to the Empire finally. They're finally giving us that in live action, which is great. So it's gonna be a good few years for Star Wars. I think some good stuff coming.
I've got to say, all of the comments just popped up on my screen. I thought that no one was chatting along. But
oh no, it's been busy in the chat tonight.
I'm going to go back very quickly because there's a couple of things here that we didn't pick up on. Quinlan Voss.
Yeah.
That's the
That's
name
the
of
guy.
the thing.
Yeah, that's him.
So there we go. Gladiators. First episode got 6 million viewers. Huge numbers. For context, Love Island gets 1.3 for a premiere. So
Can't believe it gets 1.3.
let's not talk about Love Island.
Yeah.
I used to work with one of the people on Love Island. There we go. Let's have a look. I need to go back to this comment because this one did crack me up. Shelley did the shark VR dive. Sharks freak me out. And Shelley, her irrational fear is surviving a plane crash in the sea and being attacked by a great white. That is my irrational fear. That is my exact irrational fear. If you throw in at nighttime, right? Survive a plane crash at nighttime in the middle of the sea and it's shark infested water. Boom. I think I would just float away. But that is it.
I used to be scared of like flying and stuff until like, and that's coming from a guy that goes to Florida every year. I know, bonkers. And then I started watching that guy on TikTok. He's a pilot and he talks you through stuff. And now I'm like, so like, he seems to have got rid of that irrational fear now.
Yeah.
Flying doesn't scare me. That's not my fear. My fear would be surviving a plane crash in the middle of the sea, because that's the only way I would be over that part of water. Dr. Von Hoot's Comics from the Spiral Dimension. What an awesome name. Lethal Enforcers was awesome.
If you've never met this guy, this guy is superb. He's one of the best on the internet. He wears, when you see that face there, that image is what he looks like.
What he wears.
What he wears. But we went to Comic-Con last year, Thought Bubble, and we went to a UK institute, Weatherspoons. I'm presuming you guys are familiar with Weatherspoons. Yeah. And he turned up Friday night in Weatherspoons dressed like that.
Incredible. Dr. Von Hoot, we might have to bring you on the show one day.
Yeah, I went on Triple G's show the other week, and these guys come on the screen, and all of a sudden they're just doing it in top right corner in an owl mask. I'm like, what is going on? What is this dude?
But what he is, Lethal Enforcers was awesome. Distinctively remember turning off the Mega Drive when my mate got further than me just to annoy him. The reason I wanted to pull this comment up was because that was a power move that you could do back in the day, whereas nowadays it has no relevance. No relevance at all. It's like you turn the computer off. I distinctively remember not talking to my parents for like a week and a half because they switched off when I was at like level 13 in Sonic or whatever, because we had to go to our neighbours to pick up a Easter egg or something. And I was like, no, I'm at the furthest I've ever been. They went, we need to go now. And I was like, no. And Sega put that power button really predominantly at the top, like at the front, so your parents could switch it. So there we go. So I did the same. Moonwalker was the game that we were talking about as well. That was it. That was the thing. But there we go. One thing as well I picked up on here as well, I'm just having a look. The Gizmo one has to be the Rambo Gizmo. Yeah. Rambo Gizmo all the way is definitely a good one. People talking about Fire in the Sky. Triple G, like throwing your comment up there. Fire in the Sky was nightmare fuel. I don't think I've seen this film.
Based on a true story, isn't it? Well, it's, as true as these stories are.
How old is it?
Oh, it's 80s. It's definitely the 80s. Got an amazing poster of the guy kind of looking up and the light beam coming down on him. It's your standard abduction story. I'm pretty sure that's the one that's got a horrific scene where he's strapped to a kind of a surgical bed thing, and there's like a white polythene plastic cloth thing goes over his face and pulls him into the it's just it's horrible stuff.
That's cool.
Alien Abduction, the McPherson tapes. As a child,
it's a good one.
As a child, terrified me. I went back and watched on YouTube recently and realized it is literally two blokes in morph suits going into the living room like something out of Power Rangers. I'm like, what? Who's this? Like, I was terrified of this.
They're running around the house and knocking on the windows. And, What I always get about alien films.
As a kid, terrified. Could not sleep for a week when that came out. And like, is it real? Is it not? Oh my god, aliens are real. Freaked me out. Then I look back as an adult, like, this is terrible.
I think we probably are all around the same era of watching the X-Files and things like that. So alien abduction and alien stories and things like that were like my nightmare fuel. That was the monster of my day. Do you know what I mean? Being abducted and things. And I loved it. I got
Yeah.
really into it at the time.
Yeah, I loved it. But as an adult, looking back, one thing that like, you've got these hyper intelligent beings that kind of come from millions of miles across the sky, and they come down. They, for whatever reason, they pick your house, and they run around trying to find a way in. Like, come on, they just piloted across, like, you know. And you think a door handle is gonna stop them. Like, so yeah, as an adult, it's very different. Northern Nomad in the chat there said that Fire in the Sky was early 90s. And Andy H says Robert Patrick in it. I think I've seen that. If Robert Patrick's in it, then I have seen it. Yeah, no, that is it. Shelley said that she's no way. I'm glad I'm not the only one with that fear. And there's a movie coming out. Forget what it's called. A plane crashes, it sinks, then sharks come.
Jeez.
It's been done before. But yeah, what a film.
So a film I watched this week, which was I know it came out a while ago now, but I have to talk about it. Wonka. What a weird little movie that was.
Not seen it yet. That's the one with Hugh Grant in it.
Hugh Grant is the Oompa Loompa. That's the weirdest casting ever, but it's fun.
Are we on it? Are we not? Good? Bad?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was just odd. It's just an odd little film, isn't it? Have you seen it yet?
No.
I want to see it. It's got some of the guys from. I'm a big fan of Horrible Histories, and then they did Ghosts. You've seen Ghosts, but I think a couple of them are in this as well. Rowan Atkinson's in it, isn't he? I think.
Yeah, Rowan Atkinson's in there. It's got a good casting, to be fair. Olivia Colman's in there. Sally Hawkins is in there. There's a lot of people attached to this. Keegan Michael Key. Keegan Michael Key, and yeah, so many more people. But it's the thing that caught me off guard was it's a musical.
Oh, really?
Wasn't? Yeah, I went into it thinking Willy Wonka, it's going to be fun. There'll be a couple of Oompa Loompa songs, and that'll be it. No. He starts singing the moment the film starts.
Oh, right. I didn't realize it was like a full musical.
It's like a full-on, yeah. There's like loads of little songs in it. It's great. But it was Hugh Grant that stole it for me. It's like, that is the weirdest casting ever. A posh little Oompa Loompa.
Yeah.
And it's weird.
You just can't touch the original. That's the thing. Like, it doesn't matter how many times you reimagine it. It's
No, but you know what? But the thing is, right? The original one, superb, amazing. You can't touch Gene Wilder. But you know when Tim Burton did it and Johnny Depp kind of made the weirdest child catcher impression you've ever had in your life. This guy doesn't. He actually makes it his own. He doesn't try and copy anyone else. And he doesn't try and make it weird. He's just a quirky young lad anyway, by the looks of him.
And it's just the guy from Dune.
Yeah, the guy from Dune. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Mate, I like the segue there. Speaking of Dune, thanks for the little segue. So this came out, and I have to show it because this is fun and games. There's a new popcorn bucket coming out for the new Dune movie, and it's got the internet talking. It really does. Let's get a picture up. Look at that monstrosity. It looks like an aid for the bedroom for men.
So I mean, I'm a nurse by background. That looks like something we use in the hospital for collecting samples. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people have said. It looks like an aid of some description. And
I get it. I get it. Where can we pick these up, Sorrel?
You can grab these from Cineworld in a couple of weeks' time.
They speaking of popcorn buckets, they released images of all the Ghostbuster stuff as well. Did you see all that?
Yeah, I didn't see them. No,
you've got your like a Slimer tin. They've got a few cup. I don't know whether they're UK or whether these are the American releases, but there's like the cup toppers and stuff. But yeah, no real spoilers in there.
Do you guys is this something you guys collect? Kind of popcorn tins, and it's a level I've never getting to in terms of collecting. I collect every flaming thing else, but I've never collected kind of popcorn cups and things like that.
I've picked them up when one's taken my fancy. So like I got a couple for like Rogue One because they were like big metal tins, and I thought that'd be a handy bin, like a good waste basket. I think the last one I bought was the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 one, because it had like a LED kind of thing and you pressed it and it kind of flashed. but then I got it home and I couldn't turn it off, so I just had to put it in the garage and let the battery run out. So that was a waste of money. But yeah, I don't really collect them. It's hard. They're hard to store. They're not really multifunctional, but you know, there's some really cool ones.
Yeah, the Barbie car one that came out recently was good. For the Barbie movie at Cineworld, they released like it was like a the pink car she gets in the film, and you basically you put your popcorn there, but like it had room for the doll to sit in. So like my daughter thought that was the best thing ever.
Yeah, they did a Fast and Furious one over in the States as well, which was basically like the car. And I was like, I just want to get hold of that because it's essentially like a 1/12 scale 1/12 scale car. You're looking for something, sorry. You're trying to find these Ghostbuster ones, aren't you?
I was, and then I went down a little rabbit hole and I found other things now.
Let's quickly talk about something else, because we were talking about days and there needs to be certain days and different things. And John in the comments said there needs to be a Pocket Goblins Day. And I don't think we talked about our Pocket Goblins yet. So I think that might be a good opportunity to do a little plug and give it a little bit of a shout out. So for anyone that doesn't know, Pocket Goblins is mine and SuperSorrell's Kickstarter. We are trying to reignite the late 80s, early 90s minifigures, the little plastic unarticulated figures. And yeah, it's all live over on Kickstarter at the moment. You can go and back it. We are currently sitting at 20% backed after a week, which is quite good going. We've still got about 48 days, I think it is on it.
Yeah.
Have you got any images ready to go? Like any of the group images? We'll throw it up. Come on, there. What's really exciting though is me and Sorrel have been working hard this week because we're at 20% funded. We thought we would start working on some of the other stuff. So we've put up some stretch goals. So if we exceed the amount that we're looking for, we've kind of just announced what things we would be able to put into production based on kind of the people we're working with and the people we've set up. So there's a couple of little things out there. There's like some stickers that we can put in with it. We can add glow in the dark to the line. We are now going to make the King's figure, which is the kind of top tier reward level. We're going to make him glow in the dark, which is very cool. So he's going to be glow in the dark anyway. One of the stretch goals that we've put is if we can reach that stretch goal, we can afford to put glow in the dark chase figures in. So just random ones will be glow in the dark instead. And there are two types of glow in the dark. There's blue glow in the dark and green glow in the dark, which is very exciting. We've got a display base in there as well, which is a stretch goal. And then one of the really furthest stretch goals we put is that we'll announce 2 extra figures and put 2 extra figures into that series 1. So we kind of essentially, if you back one of the full series kind of levels, then if it does get the extra 2, then you'll automatically get those extra 2 anyway. Bethany Beth in the chat said, I backed the ultimate package. Yes, you did. Thank you very much, Bethany Beth. We really do appreciate you. This is a nice little segue though, because me and Sorrel were talking and we've been fleshing out the lore and fleshing out the clans and the colors and the backstories, because we are going to do another live stream at some point and kind of just expand a little bit on the Pocket Goblins universe and tell you a little bit more about them and about different colors and stuff like that. But we were like, you know what? The Geek Week people that watch the Geek Week, that have tuned into us for however long, where's their reward? Where's their bonus? Where's their thing? Is that a fair way of putting it, Sorrel?
Yeah, definitely.
So what we've done is we've kind of commissioned another goblin. We've kind of had one put together that is going to be exclusively for Geek Week followers. So people that watch the show and also back the project. It doesn't matter. What were we going to say, Sorrel?
No, go on.
Okay. The only way that we'll be able to do this is obviously, like, if everyone just backed at level 1, it's not going to help. But we're not sure how it's going to be put into play. But one way or another, this is only going to be available to people that watch Geek Week. So if you are a Geek Week follower and you've backed the project, like Bethany Beth, we will mark you against on our sheet, and you will also get our new exclusive Geek Week Goblin.
Yeah.
So what can we say about him?
He's the podcast goblin. If you want to put, I've just put the picture. If you want, there we go. He's the podcast goblin of the crew. We've obviously, in keeping with the rest of the names, he's Puds. So Puds is the podcast goblin. He's got his little YouTube icon there and his little headphones on, ready to give you the goblin news, if you will.
Yeah. So it's a
Love
silly
it.
little thing. It's a silly little goblin, but it is not going to go into circulation. It's not going to be part of the original series. It's not going to be added to any of the reward tiers or anything like that. But if you are a follower of the Geek Week and you do support the project, drop me or Sorrel a message and just let us know the name that has supported, because I know that some people's online kind of names and stuff are different to the things that or on their credit cards and on their on their passports and stuff. So just let us know who it is, and what we'll do is we'll mark it against you, so that if we do reach our goal and we do go into production, then there will be a very limited amount of pods created and thrown in with your order. So I think it's quite cool. It's quite cool.
I haven't have to hold my hands up. I haven't backed this yet, but I will be tonight. But I was just going to say, guys, I love these. These remind us very much of a better quality version of the muscles that I used to collect. I don't know if you guys remember muscle figures, you know. But what I was going to say is, if you guys want to send us some of your images and your links and stuff, I'll start popping it on my live shows and stuff to try and push people your way as well.
Amazing. Thanks, Triple G. One thing I will say about Pods is that obviously in this image there's two tones, but he will be in keeping with the single color. So he will be the kind of Geek Week pink, where we've got the kind of pink and blues. He will be the kind of Geek Week pink all over. It's just when we had the image put together, they made the YouTube button YouTube colors and headphones a headphone color and all this kind of stuff. What I realize, he's not even got his headphones on his ears. Just they're there, you know. But yeah. So Dr. Van Hoot's comics from Spiral Dimension said, reminds me of Monster in My Pocket. It's exactly what we're going for. If you watch any of our videos, we put a couple of explainer videos out, but basically these guys are a mixture of muscle men, Monster in Your Pocket, boglins, PET aliens, all those kind of small plastic unarticulated figures. That's what we're going for. And we've created a whole series 1, which has got 10 figures in it. There's 2 exclusive figures. 2 rare, like an ultra rare and a rare, but there are 2 exclusive figures that are only available with the Kickstarter project. And then this guy Pods is only going to be available to people that tune into the show. So we're not really going to talk about Pods again. He's here. We might bring him back on another show, but he is going to be very, very limited run. And basically just as a little bit of a thank you to anyone that tunes into the show week on, week out, but also backs the project.
Yeah. Anyway, anyone that's been sort of saying like how detailed and how much are we going into this? Oh, I've been going deep into the lore this week, and we've been even made the banners of every single goblin color. Every goblin has a color and a reason and a clan, so they have different clans for the different colors. And certain goblins don't get on with other goblins, and we'll tell you more about that as the project goes on. We have a whole story and a backstory, and we've got I fleshed out this world. Let's put it that way, and I can't wait to tell you more about the world of the goblins.
I was literally sat there kind of putting these images together and kind of going, right, sending it over to Sorrel going, what's the story on this one? what icon do we need on this one? Right, okay, good stuff. How's this one look like? Yeah, so we were back and forth for the last couple of days kind of getting these together. So we will do a live stream on all of that background. Fuzzy Dunlop says Battle Beasts and Muscle Men were my jam as a kid. Battle Beasts, very much another inspiration, but where they were a little bit more articulated and obviously had the thermal things on their chest. But if you think about Battle Beasts in the respect of the kind of the earth, wind and fire, or no, it wasn't earth, wind, fire, was it? It was earth, fire and water, wasn't it?
Water, wasn't it?
Or wind? No, wind, fire and water.
I can't remember.
I can't remember now. I'm confusing myself with Captain Planet. But there was definitely fire and there was definitely water, and it was basically a rock, paper, scissors game, wasn't it? One of the stretch goals that we've added to the Pocket Goblins Kickstarter is that if we reach a certain level, we will be able to include the trading cards with the characters. So we're doing trading cards that have the kind of power and levels and stuff of each of the goblins. So then there will be a game that also goes with it later on down the line, which is something we're hoping to put into production a little bit further down the line. But if we're able to reach that stretch goal now, we'll be able to include those cards right off the bat with this first series of figure. So it is something that's coming.
Cool.
But yeah, Fuzzy Dunlop, if you want to go and check it out, back us. There's loads of different levels that you can back. But yeah, we're about 20% of the way there with about a week into it, which
for sure.
feels like good kind of progress, which is good. Got quite a few people messaging and sort of supporting and stuff, which is really cool. So we're really excited. And because of that kind of speed of percentage in that amount of time, we've just started kind of going to work on the rest of it, just because we don't want to kind of reach that March 15th and then start working. We're so invested in it. We're like, actually, let's put this work in, because if it does reach that goal, we want to really hit the ground running, don't we, Sorrel?
I've been thinking about this for such a long time. I'm already 10 steps ahead. I'm thinking comic books. I'm thinking storylines, cartoons.
Yep.
I'm a Saturday morning kid, so I'm already thinking about how I can, get this in front of people's eyeballs. So
potentially have an animator lined up that could potentially do a cartoon. There's so much to it. There is so much to it, and like we've stressed so many times, like backing this campaign isn't just a case of investing in a set of goblins. It really is investing in a potential franchise of things that we're going to really be pushing forward. So we're not going to leave our jobs and just be full-time Pocket Goblin creators anytime soon, but I mean that'd be the dream, wouldn't it? But we are heavily invested in it, heavily invested in it. And I think, to put it into context, I think we've probably got around 50 to 60 goblins stroke names stroke conceptualized figures. There is a huge world behind this door of those 10 goblins. And yeah, we've even got our own ones, but that's another thing. That is another thing. But there is so much. And one of the other things I think we should stress is that this first series is very community based. We're asking for people to contribute, but the way that we've done it is that instead of you kind of just contributing to an idea, you're essentially pre-ordering your set. You're pre-ordering, so then that way no one's backing without some kind of reward, some kind of comeback. Every single level has a physical thing that you'll get back. But we want to keep it that kind of community spirit. So even though this Kickstarter is the beginning, we will very much be involving people in some of the stuff that happens moving forward, whether it's public votes on which kind of group gets greenlit for series 2, or creating names, creating characters, all that kind of stuff.
And I mean, they're not the easiest of creatures to get along with. Like, I mean, they don't paint very, very nicely. I'm trying to get them to put the boxes together, and he's too busy eating the paint. And they're a fun bunch of little creatures to work with. I'll give you that.
They are. It is so much good. It's so good fun. My youngest son, has already learned the advert off by heart, which is mad. If you didn't watch the live stream where we launched it, what we have done on both of our channels and on the Kickstarter page, there is I think it's about 20 minutes in total, and it just covers everything. Covers all of the goblins, covers the idea, and it's just kind of an edited, shortened down version of that live stream that just kind of gives you the full overview of what this project's all about. But we're really excited. We are really excited. So
sounds great.
Who knows?
Sounds great.
Who knows? Before we go on to that, very, very quickly, it does end on the 15th of March, which is 15 days before me and Sorrel will be.
Yeah.
So we got to give it a shout out again. Me and Sorrel will be at Figure Collectors Con at Bolton. Is that said right? Bolton Stadium Hall on the 30th of March. So if we do fund, we'll be able to talk about it all here. I don't think within 15 days we'll have anything in hand, but who knows? Who knows? Maybe. Right.
Back to the news. So Hasbro Pulse fan stream kicks off tomorrow at 10 a.m. ET time, which is about 4 p.m. for us here in the UK. And it'll be the 40 years of Transformers HasLab announcement.
Wow.
Excited for this.
Yeah, see what that's going to be. A lot of people are still wanting a G1 Optimus Prime. I thought they'd already given us that like several times over, have they not?
We've got there's loads of primes out. I'm not sure there's been a HasLab. Well, I don't know. I know I collect Prime. That's my
okay.
wheelhouse. But I'm always in the market for another one. So, I hope they do another one.
Awesome. So yeah, there'll be a Hasbro panel tomorrow. So tune in at about 4 p.m. UK time and see what Hasbro announces.
You know what? Hearing you say I collect Prime, I instantly just thought of the drink. And I was like, come on, Triple G. I know you said you collect everything, but...
Have you seen my short? You'll not have seen my short of Prime. I did a little Mickey take of Prime when it was all the rage a while ago where I was taste testing them. And I end by sucking Optimus Prime's leg and saying that's the best one. So yeah, it's a bit of a weird short, that one, I have to say.
It's funny because the first thing I thought was if you had got a bottle of Prime there, that would have been amazing. Just pulled out. But no, I was thinking once my fan home is built, because he's got all articulated hands and stuff, I was like, I've got to get, because it would be a good size in his hand. I've got to have him just holding the bottle of Prime, just for the laugh of it. I really don't know what to take from that though, because at MCM I interviewed BMAC as well, and we talked about HasLab a little bit, and he did say that what's coming is very exciting because of it being the 40th and stuff. And if I remember rightly, I don't know whether it was on the interview or whether it was after we finished filming, but he said that when they were talking about it, people were like listing in comments, and one person guessed correctly what it was going to be. And he said that other people were commenting, going, "Well, it'll never be that. Like, what stupid? Like, don't be stupid, yada yada." And he was like looking at it, going, "Oh, okay, right, noted." Like, you know, so I think that was in the interview. I'm not sure, but it's going to be exciting. I'm looking forward to seeing what it is. Anyway,
did either of you guys get the Unicron?
I don't collect Transformers at all.
My Transformer collection is very few and far between.
I've got the Dracula one and I've got the Frankenstein one, but that's about it.
Yeah. Mine are very sporadic. Like, I've got the X-Men one, Back to the Future one. I've got a couple of others.
I'm the only one that sat there tomorrow in the chat going, is there a werewolf one coming soon? And another Universal Monster, maybe? No one wants me in the chat. I'm terrible. So yeah.
They done a pizza van from Stranger Things. I mean...
all the crossover ones were there for those.
Yeah.
Trick or Treat Studios put out their literally all their solicitations for the year. They kind of like blew their load in all over the internet, if you will, and they just gave us everything in one swoop, which was crazy. So these are all the masks and things that they're producing this year. So we're going to get a Goosebumps line, which I'm well excited about that. But from looking at those, they look like those like plasticky ones you used to get as a kid, don't they? They look a bit weird. But I suppose these are only just renders at this point, so I'm hoping they're a bit better than that. Either way, a Haunted Mansion, the Haunted Mask, would be amazing to have on display. Phantasm, Ghostbusters, Beetlejuice, House of Dragon, Jason Goes to Hell, a new Freddy mask, the Thanksgiving masks, Goonies, Thundercats, Lost Boys. That Lost Boys one looked awesome.
That looks really cool.
The Lost Boys one. Yeah,
these are full size.
Yeah, these full masks you can wear.
At last, I can be Michael. That's like
Don Post Studios, and then of course we get the random knockoffy ones, if you will, and then Elusive Concepts, which is like your Metaluna mutant characters like that.
All right, go back down. Hang on a sec. Hang on a sec. Right. Right. Okay. Yeah, I'm sold on that. That's cool. Go back to the page.
I think that's where you want me to go. Where else you want me to go?
One. There's already a sloth mask out there, but that is definitely an upgrade.
Hey, you guys.
I had a sloth mask. I went as sloth one year. I was like, how can I recycle my Superman T-shirt? I was like, well, I'll go sloth, get a pair of braces, I go sloth. So I got the mask, and then one of our friends' kids was like quite young. He was about 6 at the time, and he loved the Goonies. And I went, oh, look what I've got, and brought this mask out, scared the shit out of him. But yeah, no, that's quite cool. Oh, I'm really all over these. These look amazing.
What a lot of people do is they take the bit hairpiece off of the Goonies one from the last release, and then put the Jason hockey mask over the top of it.
Yeah.
Then you've got a great the weird deformed version of Jason before he became a bit too mangled over the course of the movies.
The good thing about these though is that they look so good. You could put these on a pumpkin. Put these on a mannequin, like a wig head, and have them on display. Easy enough.
Some people do.
Right. That Slimer one is just dying to be a centerpiece for a Ghostbusters setup.
Yep. But yeah, they've got some great stuff coming out this year. These are just the mask announcements. We've still got all the announcements for all the figures and things that are still to come out. There's a lot of stuff coming out this year. It's going to be a great year with them again.
Was that werewolf? Was that meant to be a Michael Jackson Thriller werewolf?
The mask. Go up.
Which one?
That one there.
That one.
Looks like
yeah.
Blood Moon mask.
It does.
I have no idea. It does look like the Mike one, yeah.
Quite like that.
That looks amazing. Very quickly, while we're talking, Bethany Beth, do we have an email to contact us? Just come across socials, whether it's Instagram, whether it's whatever. We've both got emails on our various different stuff. However, whichever way you get in touch with us, it's like an unofficial kind of just say, yep, I backed it. But we've seen that you backed it, which is fantastic.
We've got
comics. Thank you very much. Gone for the ultimate tier. Do appreciate that, and we will make sure that you get that show exclusive. Again, just drop us an email, drop us a message over on Instagram. It's probably the best way.
Yeah, Beth, your sound. I've already got your details from the Kickstarter, from your email address, because I can see your email that you pre-ordered with anyway. It does give us that information, so I've already ticked you off on the sheet, so don't worry about that.
Good stuff. Dr. Von Hoot, just let us know
what email you've used and stuff. Message me with your email address, dude, and I'll tick you off on the sheet.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you very much. We do appreciate that support. That's awesome. But yeah. I want to get some of those masks. I'm not going to lie. I've never been that excited about Halloween masks before, but they look incredible. So
yeah, and I'll give them a little plug. I've not plugged them in a little while, but they do go to all the cons that I go to, like they're called Mad About Horror. They're a great company to use, especially if you want to pick up masks and things, because these guys also get a lot of the third-party big animatronics and things from like America, and they also get the imported stuff like these from America. So a lot of this stuff goes to Spirit Halloween, and we never see it in the UK. They get everything that's horror related. So if you're looking for anything horror, they can find it. And they're a lovely group of people that run it. I see them at like every con and have a chat with them about horror and stuff. But yeah, if you go to Trick or Treat Studios on here, you can literally pre-order all those masks right now and all the figures and things that are coming out. And like, look at that Candy Con Trail Pot. That's just awesome.
When are we going to get them on at some point? Didn't you have them? You had them on your.
I do have them lined up at some point, hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to get them lined up for the show. But yeah, there's some great stuff coming out. I've got that Trick or Treat figure. It's amazing.
I got that one because of your review.
My channel has that effect, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Right, next up. McFarlane have done some dropping of more figures, as always. Constant. It never stops with McFarlane. But this time, we're getting a Cassandra Cain Batwoman figure. This is the Cassandra Cain version. Yeah, cloth cape. I know. Nice.
Yeah, well, it's pretty cool.
It's Cassandra Cain, so I'm going to get one. Because they very rarely release the Cassandra Cain version.
Yeah. It was only a matter of time for McFarlane, though, let's be honest.
You say that, but he doesn't like releasing female figures, does he? Because they never sell.
Yeah.
And that one
No.
sold out instantly.
No, that's very true.
I'm really surprised. It baffles me. He could have sold 1,000 cat women and Harley Quinns by now.
I like
But
that.
yeah, we're also going to get the rival. I believe it's called, isn't it?
Rival.
Yeah, from the Injustice.
Yeah,
Is
it's
that
kind
right?
of reverse Jay Garrick, isn't it? But,
Yeah.
very cool. I like the lightning effects on the eyes.
That is
The
very
green.
cool. Yeah, very nice looking fig. And then there was just one more, which was the Hal Jordan glow in the dark version, which looks pretty cool. We get a picky. This one. So we're going to be getting the glow in the dark version, which looks like is this with all the accessories.
Parallax, is it?
That's cool.
Yeah, parallax.
Yeah.
Let's see him glow.
That's pretty cool, actually. I like that.
Oh, nice. That
glows
looks
on-
more UV light though.
It is. It's that black light. They're using that. They're using the black light on him, aren't they? Because they released obviously the black lights. It's going to be released as one of those big box sets. Look,
Ah, right.
so it's going to be released like with one of those black light kits, I believe. So I believe from looking at the actual accessories, they look glow in the dark, but I don't think the figure is really. I think that's going to be more just it'll react under the UV light and look like that.
Yeah.
Either way,
You know what though? With Blacklight, I got the Black Panther Hot Toys.
I've got that.
It's well cool. It's well cool. But for anyone that doesn't know, he's essentially got all of his kind of like the Wakanda stuff in the suit. Where at the end of the film, when he powers up, if you put him on a black light, he lights up, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I got mine as part of a trade, and really annoyingly, the person's obviously displayed it in direct sunlight, so the main part of his chest doesn't glow as bright
right.
as the rest of it. And I was like, oh man, I'm not going to try to chase it down because the price on it now is ridiculous. But I was kind of like, well, you win some, you lose some. But it's very cool.
Did you use the black light that came with the figure, or you've got your own setup? Because I found the black light. It comes in like it's the cardboard kind of thing.
Yeah,
Not you've got to move it around a fair bit to make them light.
yeah.
up.
No, I got my own black light.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to pick one up.
just a hand at all times.
just in case. Just in case.
Okay? Yeah. But it's it's
cool
cool. I'm
thing.
going to show you in a sec. But yeah, so I got my own. But it's the cardboard thing is really cool though, because as a display piece, it's very cool. It's essentially like the what is it, like the lab sort of thing, isn't it? In like Wakanda, like that. It's very cool. But what I found with the black light, which I find really amusing, is seeing the difference in production of figures. So I'm just going to pull these ones up really quickly, right? So X-Men, classic X-Men, yeah. So they all look like they're the same part of a set, don't they? So we got the 2-3 packs, and then we got the Wolverine, which was separate. So the can you see it? Oh, you can't. You can kind of see, maybe, I don't know. But the 3 packs all glow under the black light.
All right.
But then I know, see on the camera you can't see it. But the Wolverine doesn't. So the Wolverine's made of different plastic than the 2-3 packs, which I found like a really bizarre thing.
That Gambit's a nice figure as well, mind. I like that one.
Oh no, it's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. What I do find funny as well about the
that's the nerdiest thing I've ever heard you say about a toy on this channel ever. It's made of different plastic. You got really excited about it.
I went through Marvel Legends, and there's really random ones like Lady Sif from.
Did you check all of your figures with the black light?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'd be too scared to shine that black light around the thing.
On the walls, the ceiling. Oh no.
I this goes everywhere with me now. I'm addicted. But I was looking at the different figures, and it's things like the Lady Sif figure from Thor: Dark World. Her whole face like glows under the black light, so her head is made of a different plastic. No, it is made of a different plastic, gentlemen. Right? It's bizarre, but it is really weird. Like I can see it now on the shelf. So the arms and the legs on the 3 packs all shine, all glow up under the black light, but the Wolverine, none of it does, which I just find really odd. Like how they're the same figures, but they're made of different plastic.
Different stuff.
My geekness has reached a whole,
funny.
whole different level. Well, all right, whatever. I thought that was a cool little tidbit, but hey ho.
So another thing that was announced this week was everyone in the chat. Ash, that's too much information. The chat has just caught up. Turtles of Grayskull has announced the new Shredder figure.
Yeah, this one was I was looking forward to.
Yeah, which means that I'm gonna. Sorry, you've got some comments about Shredder before I go off on a tangent.
I just think they could have done more with it.
Yeah, definitely.
I just was a little bit disappointed. It just looks like a He-Man figure. Like it doesn't. The cool thing about this line is some of them are real mashups, some real, like, you know, exciting looking figures. Shredder essentially looks like a He-Man figure.
So
Shredder to me.
The fun part is they've not given us Skeletor yet. They've not announced the Skeletor figure yet either. And a bit like how they crossed over the two characters last time with Faker and Scar, as you call that turtle with the spikes. They crossed them two over and made that weird Slacker version that no one can work out how to pronounce his name. Slacker. But I think they're going to do the same, but I think Shredder and Skeletor are going to become something together.
Okay.
And I think that's why we've not had the announcement yet.
Okay.
Because it's just that Shredder's too plain and basic to be the final thing. I think they're keeping something under wraps. It's going to be like Super Skeletor, or you know what I mean? It'll be like Skeletor in Shredder's armor and about 6 foot tall or something. It'll be ridiculous. It'll be some ridiculous big fig that they don't want to give away just yet. It'll be like the big ending to the comic book, because every figure comes with a little comic.
Yeah.
So I reckon the big ending he'll be like the big boss at the end, and that'll be the super figure that we'll get at the end of Skeletor.
Yeah.
That's where I think they're going.
Have you picked any of these up? Either of you picked any of these up?
No, not yet. Till the prices drop. No.
The price is
£30.
very
Woo-hoo.
high. Yeah.
I mean, I like them. I think they look cool, but they're just not necessarily something I would necessarily go for. I don't think.
But I mean, I have Turtles and I have He-Man.
Yeah.
But I can't warrant that price point for a mashup, basically, like a crossover.
If these would have come in at about 20 to 23, I'd have probably been all over them. But $31.99 to get them? No.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just they don't. I don't know why, but they don't necessarily appeal. Whereas if you're talking about, you know, the Turtles, Universal Monster line mashup, that does appeal to us, because I think the figures look really cool. These just look, I don't know. That Shredder to me doesn't look exciting. If you were to put that separate from the packaging, I'm not sure you would link it to a Masters of the Universe mashup line. It just looks like a Shredder figure.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, speaking of the crossover line with Universal Monsters, I'm not quite sure what's happening as of yet, but there's two that has obviously come out in America now that we've not had over here yet, even as a pre-order. They've got the Wolfman and the creature of the Black Lagoon, Leonardo.
Yeah.
And they've just posted up a load of pictures of the Raphael Wolfman, and it does look friggin' awesome. That does look cool.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping these come to the UK very, very, very soon in Europe, because we need these final two to finish the series off. I know there's only Chase products, and
it's the bone, though. It's the bone side.
Yeah. The NECA really went all out. Yeah. NECA went all out with this line. They really did. They went all out with it. It's a good series.
Yeah, it is cool. It's just really random as well.
Yeah,
it is really random.
Yeah.
But we're going back as well to Trick or Treat Studios. They did show us a few things. These aren't relatively overly new, but still it's cool to just recap them for the year. But these are the things that they are releasing for like figures and statues. So we're going to get a really cool Reagan 1/6 scale statue. New 2024, we're getting a new Michael Myers 1/6 scale from the 2007 movie. The Goosebumps 5-inch figure assortment will be coming out, and there is a Build-A-Figure in the line as well.
Is that
That's going to be really cool.
One at the end?
I'm not 100% sure without looking at the thingy, but I know there is a Build-A-Figure in that line, so it could be him.
Have you guys watched the Netflix show on this yet?
The Disney one?
Yeah. I didn't.
Yeah,
really
I
watch
really
any of
enjoyed it.
Was
I
good?
enjoyed it, but it didn't too much, did you, Ash?
No, it was all right for what it was. I think I like the originals too much.
Yeah.
I can go as crap as they are. I like to go back and even watch them now, especially around Halloween. I'll sit through like the Haunted Mask and Night in Terror Tower, Phantom of the Auditorium. I know the names of them off by heart. Horrorland, you know what I mean? I'll sit through all of those ones time and again. So I mean, I'm just linked to the originals too much. I think I like the stupid movies with Jack Black in them. To be
Yeah, so
honest,
I did as
they were
well.
pretty good.
To be honest with you, with the new one that's on Disney Plus, I would have rather that they'd given it a different name and it just been a new teen horror thing.
Special
Like
kids, yeah.
they could have done Slappy without it being Slappy. They could have done similar things as to what the storyline. The storyline didn't center too much around the Goosebumps
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, they could have easily done the ventriloquist because they did it in Toy Story, for God's sake. And it was basically Slappy and they basically ripped it off, didn't they? That was basically the same thing.
But all of they did the Haunted Mask in this new one as part of the thing, and it was a cool episode, and they kind of put a bit of a twist on it and stuff. But they could have twisted it even more and not had it as Goosebumps. I think the writing would have worked as a standalone show that people would have gone, well, it's a bit like Goosebumps, but I think it probably would have done better if it wasn't Goosebumps, because it wasn't Goosebumps. But I enjoyed it.
I'll give it a go. I'll probably give it a go.
We're going to get in the 5-inch figure assortment for Gwar. I've never seen Gwar. I've never seen Gwar, but and it looks fun.
That's the noise you make when you see someone. You're like, "Gwah." What is that in between that one's legs?
I don't know.
What is that? That's
which one are you looking at? Because there's the one.
It is what we think it is. People, look on the top left. Look at the top left.
That's a ball sack, is it?
That's that is exactly what we think it is. So moving on, children.
Okay.
Whoa. Did you just put up action figures with balls?
Get your black light on them, I tell you. Go.
Wait, put it back.
Didn't know those were there. I'm not putting that back on now. And then we get in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 5-inch figures. James is gone. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre figures as well.
We're going to look at these. Oh, what's that? It comes with an accessory. Oh, it's a ball sack.
Yeah, these figures come with the dinner scene and obviously Grandpa in the chair and everything. So this is I'm trying to move on.
Oh, brilliant!
And then recently,
the clowns. Awesome.
Yeah, these are now out. You can buy these now already. Props and replicas have all 3 in stock.
Quick, cover up.
Oh, he's put it on again.
They're the weirdest thing ever, aren't they?
What was that? What was that for an action figure line? Who wants that?
So, I'm going to pre-order as soon as we're finished. I'm going to get them.
Apparently, Gwar is a heavy metal band.
Ah, right.
Do they have the balls out on stage? This is like a thing.
I bet. Rick Astley's more my scene. I don't think he's ever had his balls out on screen.
I'm more of a Spice Girls man myself.
Gwar is an American heavy metal band formed in 1984 as a rotating lineup of musicians, collectively known as Slave Pit Inc. Since so they've got like a rotating band of weirdos that come together and make up this band that are just they're a bit mental, and they do have things out and
of course Von Hoot would know who they are. Von Hoot, he's probably been to a concert, I'm sure.
Their performance art, you'd call it that, do you? Is that what we call that? As nudism.
That's funny. I'm sure they are. I'm sure they're brilliant. What I find most funny is that Sorrell's trying to show us the action figures that have been announced, unaware that there is a ball sack.
In the top left is just these balls just swinging away.
I meant the one at the bottom though. The one at the bottom looked very suspicious. I didn't even notice the one at the top. That's fantastic. That is fantastic.
Oh, Jesus. And that is it for another week of news.
That is fantastic.
We're ending on that sack, if you will.
We will, It's just we'll end on that one. That's That is amazing. We got a couple of minutes left. Are there any community shout outs you've got? Have you got anyone at all at the moment?
Not really, but I just want to say that last week we did show off a picture of the Ghostbusters, and we were kind of saying, was Janine actually in the flight suit, or was she CGI'd in? Because nobody could really tell from that photo. Well, here's an actual shot from the movie set and stuff. So she's actually in the film this time around as a fully fledged Ghostbuster. So I'm really excited by that. And
these are all the official release pictures, aren't they? These are all
from
the
Empire
motion pictures.
Yeah, from Empire, and there's some really cool looking scenes and things. Obviously, the little Stay Puft Marshmallows are back. We've still got the new thing, and the Slimer's back. They've got there's the trap there. Looks, I think he's living in the annex of the firehouse. Maybe
that looks like it's part of the firehouse. That's the top of the window, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks like it, doesn't it? And then there's the little, if you look, there's a trap underneath him. So does he kind of go in there and come out when he wants, kind of thing, and just roams around? Yeah,
and it looks like one of the older traps as well.
Yeah, from the original film. So yeah, it's weird. And then there's
in the bottom right.
You what, sir?
That's a person in the bottom right, isn't it?
Yes, I think it's Phoebe. I think.
Yeah.
If we go right back to the first image of the thing, not that one, it shows them in the firehouse, and obviously the green light is still on the thing, so the trap is clean.
Is that Sigourney Weaver as well?
I don't know who that is. I don't think so. I think it's her, isn't it? The blonde.
That's the mum, isn't it?
Yeah, she's the mum, and she's got a flight suit this time around as well.
She's now a Ghostbuster.
She's now a Ghostbuster. So yeah. Looks interesting.
I'm really excited for this.
Me too.
It just feels like a natural progression with Ghostbusters, and it just looks like it's going to work. I like how the originals are still very much involved. What I do like about this one is notice what's going on in the background.
Yeah.
That's the gun from the second movie, isn't it?
Yeah, and if you look at the logo on the girl's arm on the left here, and if you look at the guy in the middle, he's got his name on like a black flight suit that matches hers. I think they're meant to be. I think they could be like Ghostbusters International, maybe. I think this could be branching out into other things now, because they look like they're in their own version of the flight suit, isn't it? Yeah. So I wonder whether what's it?
Ray,
Dan Aykroyd's character Ray. I wonder if he's kind of helped them branch out a bit further now, and that in the background they're clearly testing different weapons and things.
See, I thought this was kind of like in James Bond you got your Q department. I kind of thought they were the tech guys, and this was going to be all the new tech and the new weaponry, because they haven't got Egon anymore, have they? And it was Egon that designed it all, really.
Yeah, it could be that. It's just funny how they've got a different logo to everyone else. They've got that cog logo. So I wonder if there's going to be I wonder if they're trying to branch out, because that's the girl from Descendants that played Uma, isn't it? That's I can't think. China. Yeah, something China. She's called. She's a Disney star. Oh, she was a Disney star when she was younger.
And then the cog logo, like Triple G just said, it could be like a tech
engineering department of Ghostbusters.
It's like it's your universal symbol for settings, isn't it? That side of things. So that could be exciting. One way or another, there's obviously different people involved. It's not just 4 guys anymore. There's clearly a bigger picture here.
Yep. So yeah. Why? I need to know, why is the teacher coming along on the field trip to New York? That's what I want to know.
Because he's a Ghostbuster now.
He's not, is he? He was the teacher.
No, he's a Ghostbuster now. I really hope that this franchise, I hope that this film, how do you put it? I hope that the original guys are good, but I hope that they're not the bread and butter that hold it together. Because if they're in it, this is very much their transition movie, that we go from they go from the them being the guys to then the new people having the franchise. Dr. Von Hoots hit the nail on the head there. That's exactly why he's basically just not left her. But so I really hope it has legs, and hopefully if there is that kind of slightly bigger universe or departments or whatever it is that they're going with, they kind of create more of a a thing.
Well, everything's about universes now, isn't it? It's all about bigger franchises, so it makes sense that they would, because Ghostbusters is it could be such a massive property in terms of spin-offs and, like you say, different branches across the world and things, different groups. You would hope that this, like you say, would be the handing of the torch, as it were, from the old guard to the new guard, and then from this on, we'll get some more interesting properties out there as well.
What I think would be really good is if they did kind of create the idea of, if they did make the idea of different teams kind of canon, it would buy so much into the fandom lore as well, because obviously there's so many Ghostbuster like units, isn't there? Like, the I can't remember what they call themselves, but there's like particular this area is like platoon or whatever, and they're all over the country, all over the world and stuff. So by kind of making that canon, it kind of makes these fan groups and these cosplayers who do things like, fairs and parties and Comic Cons and that kind of stuff, but it kind of makes them part of the universe officially. Then
I've always thought Ghostbusters is it's an amazing franchise, but it's obviously aimed at a younger audience because it's fun. Do you know what I mean? But you could have real good horror elements of this franchise as well. I know we've got scares in some of them, but I'd love a franchise where it splits off and you've got like a 15+ version of Ghostbusters with proper, horror elements to it. It would be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. Well, it's one of them weird ones, isn't it? Because obviously the films weren't aimed at kids, but then all the toys and the cartoons and the comic books were aimed at kids.
Yeah.
And so therefore it's now become a children's kind of property. Whereas the original films weren't really aimed at children. I think they were.
I literally shit my pants with the library scene.
Oh.
Do you know what I mean? Going to see that at the cinema as a kid, and it was terrifying,
Yeah, that I couldn't watch that one properly for a little while. Until I had my big boy pants. I was like, yeah, we'll fast forward that bit. There's no story development there. We don't need her. That's fine. But yeah, I agree with you. It could be a really good, dark, kind of horror-esque franchise. But yeah, it's just strange, isn't it? Because so much of the fandom was built off of the selling of it being aimed at children.
Yeah, the cartoon, the Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Ghost.
To be fair, in the 90s, even films that weren't aimed at kids, like Dumb and Dumber, had a cartoon for kids.
Yeah,
Ace Ventura.
That's true.
Well, Predator, Alien.
Yeah, Alien. Yeah,
all of them.
Crazy, isn't it?
But it's the whole thing is just it's we don't really have that nowadays, do we?
No.
Talking about movies though, my wife sent me a picture. It was like one of these Instagram kind of slideshows, and it was somebody had done the maths of how long Godzilla's legs had to be for him to walk on the surface of the water, and it was like Godzilla's like this big and his legs are like down here. It was like something stupid from the top of the water to the floor, and it was just this image of Godzilla with these really long spindly legs. Can't unsee it now. Now I just think of Godzilla with his long legs.
Latest movie, mind. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet. Phenomenal.
-1.
Oh God, amazing.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. I'm holding out because I've heard so many good things about it. I need to just it needs to be one of them cinema trips where I'm not tired and I haven't got a huge amount to do the next day, where I can just go and just take it in.
Being re-released in black and white. I don't know if that's hit over here yet, but
Dave said to hold out for the black and white one. Dave's seen both. Dave's played Model Behavior. He's a YouTuber, has been on with us many times, and he said hold out for the black and white one because it makes it look like the traditional film.
Yeah. Dr. Von Hoot said, I was assuming Godzilla was paddling. So I thought that, but where the water, the water hits at like his waist level. So if he was going really fast, he would.
Tail's a propeller. His tail's a propeller, isn't it? It's just spinning.
That's what it is. Shelley, right at the end as well, said, Andy H. King Goblin Jacob will definitely be in my pocket. I'm hoping that's related to a comment earlier, which I missed because the comment's not loading. But thanks, Shelley. I'll tell you what, back the project. Drop us a message and we'll see what we can do. But no, we got any community shout outs before we finish up?
No, I don't have any for this week, sadly.
No, I've been really bad and I haven't really looked because we've been putting in so much time with Pocket Goblins. I haven't really looked. So we will jump on and do some more next time. Before we do finish though, Pete, Triple G, anyone that's in the chat that might not have caught you, where's the best place for them to catch you? What's your details and stuff?
Yeah, so I'm on Instagram and obviously YouTube as Triple G Comics. Do a whole host of videos. I do about 2 live shows a week. All kinds of comic related stuff, toy related stuff, 1/6 scale figure in particular stuff. Got a live show every Monday night at 8 o'clock and Saturday night live every Saturday at 9 o'clock. I've also got another YouTube channel with a pal called James Keegan, which is the One Good Scare Show, which is all about horror content. So we do a live show every fortnight and we do movie reviews and things like that on that channel as well. So yeah, please check us out.
Amazing. Go and check them out. I will say as well, thank you very much for being a fan of the show and supporting the show. Most weeks you're there in the comments with good content and that, so we do appreciate you. But no, it's been good fun. It's been good fun having you on.
Thank you.
It's flown by though, the time. It's like we are now like a couple of minutes away from the end of a 2-hour show, which is mental. Sorrell, anything you look like you're scanning the screen there. Like, is there anything you want to throw
No,
up?
saying next Sunday we're going to be joined by 2074 Comics from TikTok. You're going to be joining us. And we're moving into February. I can't believe February is coming around already. So we've got a couple of conventions coming up as well in my local area in February. So I'm looking forward to going to the Barnsley Brick Festival for a Lego Fest and the Doncaster Toy Fair. I'm looking forward to both of those. I'll be at both of those next month, so I'm looking forward to it.
Nice. Yes, 2074 next week. Looking forward to having him on. Been pals over on TikTok for a little while. Big Spider-Man fan. Good old Marvel Legends collection as well. He's an inbox collector as well, so this is a good one. But yeah, anyone that's new to the show that's caught us for the first time, thank you very much. We appreciate you. Of course, all the links are in the descriptions of the videos. Anyone that's watching us on catch up because you're not watching us live, Sorrel, what is it they've got to put in the comments to let us know?
Hashtag catch up crew.
Hashtag catch up crew. If you haven't backed Pocket Goblins already, please do. No matter how big or small, it is massively appreciated, and it's just going to get us that little step closer to making this a reality. And do go and check out those videos as said. Once again, Triple G, Pete, been great fun having you on. Really do appreciate it. Definitely going to have you back another week, without a doubt.
Thank you very much. Really enjoyed it, guys. It's been great fun.
No, it has been good fun. Stick around. We'll say goodbyes after the credits roll. Everyone else, thank you very much for watching. As always, don't think there's really much more to say other than we'll see you next week. Until then, keep it geek.
Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and of course subscribe. Tune in next week for another live show. Until then, keep it geek. Stay up to date at www.geekweekinreview.co.uk.